In the name of God, the Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer. Amen. Do you know what it feels like when someone doesn't believe you? St. Thomas didn't believe in Jesus' resurrection until he saw his crucifixion wounds. I would like to share a story of a time when no one would believe something that I did. In the past, I have been known to be very lazy, slack off, and save everything for the last minute, and barely try on schoolwork. But in the past year, I have changed and matured so I don't push things to the last minute. My maturity started to show at the beginning of the school year. My parents didn't realize it until later though. Since I wasn't lazy anymore, I actually tried on homework and classwork. But my parents weren't used to this, which is understandable because I barely cared about my education for many years. One night I put a lot of effort into homework for one of my classes. My parents didn't even know I had started on homework for that night. I spent about an hour and a half on homework for that night. Afterward, I played video games on my computer for a couple hours. Then dinner came. While we were eating, my dad said this to my brother and me. After you are done eating, you need to do your homework before anything else. So I said, I finished my homework a few hours ago. No one believed me, not even my brother. My mom said, bring it down and let us look at it. Excited to show them my work, I raced upstairs and grabbed the papers. I put them on the table. It's impossible, but I think my dad's jaw literally fell out. My mom's too. My brother looked at it like it was the craziest thing he had ever seen. My mom said, Peter, did you actually try? I told her, yes, of course. It took me a few months to realize it was the first time I had ever actually put effort into anything school-related, because from my perspective, I had always tried my hardest, but everyone around me knew the truth. My parents always told me to try harder, and they always asked me why I didn't try. I was always confused because I thought I was. In the Acts passage, we hear from Peter. Peter didn't even wait until the crucifixion to deny Jesus. He saw deeds of power, wonders, and signs. But he didn't believe Mary and the other women when they said that Jesus was raised. He had to go see the empty tomb for himself. If Peter and Thomas both needed proof, maybe we shouldn't feel bad about ourselves if we find it hard to believe sometimes too. Sometimes seeing is believing. We all know Peter went on to be the foundation of the church. But do you know what happened to Thomas? Jesus said, have you believed because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have come to believe. I don't think this means you are not blessed if you need proof. Once Thomas saw the wounds, he said, my Lord, my God. About 20 years later, he traveled from Palestine to India to build the first church there. If you look at our church's seal, you'll see a builder's square. This represents his calling as a builder and his role as a church builder. The church still thrives in India today. In fact, Indian immigrants have brought the Thomas Church with them to our country. It is called Mar Thoma. There is a congregation right here in Fort Washington. It seems like we might have some things in common. According to church tradition, St. Thomas was martyred in India with a spear. This is represented by the other item in the church seal. In his letter, Peter says, although you have not seen him, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him. Jesus showed Thomas and shows us the path of life. Even when you and I doubt, we are reminded in our psalm today that in his presence there is fullness of joy. In this troublesome time in quarantine, we may not see it, but we know it's there. Amen.